Hi, welcome back. We are doing another garden escape prompt word. So we did one last week. The first week of March, we had a prompt word for a drawing challenge over on Instagram, and it's called March Garden Escape. So there are 4 prompt words for the whole month, and this video is going to be the second prompt word. And I'm just going to take you through the whole process, how I brainstorm, all the little struggles and challenges I get along the way, because almost every single painting has its own little adventure going on. This week's prompt word is witch's herb garden. I'm not much of a fan of witches and like dark magic and all that kind of thing, but I do love the more fairy-like, ethereal, surreal inspiration. So I'm going to make mine something more in that direction. We'll see where this takes us, and I'm excited to dive into it. I did start off the challenge a little bit late, and because I'm filming as I go, it does slow me down. So I'm trying my best to catch up. I have 2 or 3 more days to do this challenge, so hopefully I get it done in time, because the first one was a little bit late. I feel like the first one was a bit of a warm-up for me because I decided to go with a style that I used last year. So a person does get a little out of practice with a specific style. It does happen, and then you need to warm up and get back into it. So I kind of wish I did do some warm-up art before I just went straight into painting. As usual, we'll get going with some sketching and then get into the painting, and I will have a bit of voiceover to explain any interesting parts that happened during the process. So if you like to draw or paint, please join me, grab your supplies, and we can do it together. Okay, so let's hop right into it. Something in garden apothecary over here. I think that would really combine all the elements that I want to see, which is the healing properties of herbs and how they can be used for human medicine. So somehow I want to include the concept of either maybe drinking it as a tea or just showing perhaps a mother busy in her apothecary preparing something. I was thinking of having maybe one of her children in there that she's concerned about, that's ill, but I don't really want to overcomplicate it. So I think perhaps just to have her there preparing something and maybe 1 or 2 of her children standing around, just watching her. I love the look of the little jars and the mortar and pestle. It's quite possible this garden's going to end up being indoors, because you can grow herbs indoors near a window, and in that way I can include all the shelves and the whole little medicine nook. So let's see where this takes us.
try so hard not to think of you, but it's so dreadful. You give me hope we could be together, then tear me down. And I just keep wishing we could be together, then I slowly realize. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere in my head. I try so hard not to think of you, but it's so dreadful. You give me hope we could be together, then you tear me down. And I just keep wishing we could be together, then I slowly realize. Oh, I slowly realize that it just doesn't work like that. You're on your own separate track. I'm trying to get to you.
Well, I think that painting went superbly well. My gut instinct was right. I had to first get used to the paper of the book and the paint medium that I was using, which is the Caran gouache set. So I was using this Caran gouache set. What's interesting about these dry gouache pans is they tend to be more grainy than the jelly gouache. So I have the Caran dry gouache pans, and I also have the Artex jelly gouache. So if you would like to see a comparison of the two, I can actually do a video for you on that. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. This book is actually a drawing sketchbook and not actually for painting, but I really love the paper in here, and it does actually hold up to a little bit of water. It's not really meant for it, but you can see how it does wrinkle a little bit, but not excessively, because the Fabriano is known for the quality of their papers and their unique method of pressing the paper. So I don't know the exact science of it, but they make exceptionally good quality paper, especially for, if you look how thin the paper is, just how durable it is. The surface of the paper is so strong. It doesn't ruffle or deteriorate with water or rubbing or anything like that. So I'm pretty impressed with it, and I'm enjoying it. The only thing I would say is the paint does absorb into the paper very quickly, so there's a lot of moisture loss while you're painting, and you need to wet and keep the paint fairly wet to have any sort of workable consistency as the paper absorbs so quickly. But that can be for another video where I discuss the pros and cons of different papers and these two gouache sets. So if you're interested in buying gouache paint, I'm so happy with how this picture turned out. It has all the happiness and the quirkiness that I love to see in a picture. And it's this imaginative world which I was hoping to achieve with this particular series. My art has been becoming quite imaginative and more creative, I would say. I was doing a lot of realistic type of art in the beginning, mostly just to use that as a springboard to become more creative, because for me it's about learning the fundamentals, being comfortable with drawing all sorts of different things before I become creative with it and extend it or expand it or morph it into something that I find more exciting and interesting. So anyway, that's what I was pushing into in this particular one, and I'm hoping the next two March garden escapes will also be fun and quirky. It's kind of hard not to be with these awesome prompts. So I think the next one is the Dragon's Lair. I'm looking forward to that. I just love dragons. I love drawing them. So we'll see what I come up with. I hope you enjoyed this. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments, and also like and subscribe as usual if you enjoy this kind of content. If you're subscribed, you will be notified every time I upload, or at the very least, it will show up in your feed if you don't put the bell notification on. That's it from me, and I'll catch you again next week.